Hi guys, welcome back to the Rad Hyrox podcast. Today I'm going alone. Em's not around, so it's going to be me and our guest Michelle today, Coach Michelle PT on Insta. She's a Hyrox head judge and a coach, Hyrox coach. She's qualified for the Hyrox World Champs 3 times, and this year came 11th in the World Champs in the 50 to 59 age group. You have got a myriad of information on Hyrox and tips, I'm sure, that we can share with everybody that's listened today. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for asking me to come on.
Oh no, it's absolutely, you've been really, really patient with us, haven't you, Michelle? We've been changing the times, changing the dates, so I appreciate you working around it to come on.
We've got it done though. We're here now.
We're here. So we're going to take it back right back to when you were younger. Were you a sporty kid at school? Like, did you get into sport when you were younger, or was it not your thing?
No, it wasn't my thing. It's something that I found later on in life. So at school, I just did sport like everyone did. Obviously, my age now, I'm 52, nearly 53. So, sport at school then wasn't as exciting as it is probably now.
Yeah.
So I became a mum at the age of 25, my first child, then had 4 children up to the age of 31. And then sort of in my late 30s, found sport and then got myself, wanted to look after myself and lose weight really then, because I just had 4 children. It was more about just fitness and getting into shape. So that's really where it all started, was in my late 30s.
Oh wow. And did you, was that like a friend saying go to a class or go to the gym, or what started it? Was it?
Yeah, it was one friend just saying, I want to lose some weight, want to go to the gym. So I started going with her. And then sometimes trying to work out going with somebody, it was too much. And then you end up not going. So in the end, I sort of very much went on my own. And I'm happy doing that. I'm very much a person that can go off and do something on their own and not worry about it too much. So I started going on my own, started going to the gym, just spin classes, body attack, your mainstream gym that I went to. And then I found a gym local in my area called in Kings Langley called JJK Fitness, and they just opened. Went there for 1 week and thought I was really fit and I trained hard and everything. And did a week with them and never looked back. And that's when the journey really then started, and the big change in my attitude to fitness. And it became a place that I needed to go to. I was going through a relationship breakup at the time with my children's father. It's I found my safety place. When I did eventually split up with the children's father, I did think, am I still going to go to the gym? Because that was my outlet to go to. And it just continued from strength to strength. I became a PT later in life. So again, I became a PT at the age of 45.
Amazing.
Did it because I wanted to know a little bit more. Was in renewable energy before, so it was a big changeover.
Yeah, that's a bit of a change.
That's a bit of a changeover. So I carried on working full time, became a PT, took classes in the morning, worked a full-time job, trained at lunchtime, worked in the evening. My workload was massive. I worked at least about 70 hours a week. COVID came. And actually I took on more and more because as a gym, we trained people in the parks. So our clientele got stronger and stronger in COVID. We all had a park. We all had clients that came in, one-to-one PT. After COVID, I managed to be able to give up my full-time job and become a full-time coach. I work in 2 different gyms, completely different. One's a CrossFit gym. The other gym I work for is Warner Brothers in the film studios, so more corporate.
Oh, wow.
So completely 2 different worlds now, which I absolutely love. I love the 2 aspects and bringing my sort of training into the normal corporate type gym. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess with your background, because you have got such a background in, like, say, the corporate world, working in renewable energy, then you can relate to those people that I'm guessing you're training.
Absolutely. Them office
Yeah.
kind of thing. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be able to try and get your training in. I know what it's like sitting at a desk all day, and not moving.
Mm.
Um, so it's trying to instill into those type of people, um, that to create that habit, that it's like 1 hour out of their day, that once you're in it, it becomes, it becomes your nature, that that happens every day, and you recognize when you haven't exercised that day or moved. So yeah, it's great because my, it's been transferable, my skills from renewable energy, working in the office environment, understanding people a Saturday, recognizing when they come in and they're saying, oh, my arm hurts, and I'm like, you sat at a desk all day, is your hand on the mouse, are you not moving? So yeah, it's good. It's been able to transition all the skills that I've learned through my working. Yeah.
And I think, like, being a PT myself and a coach, I think sometimes like older PTs and older coaches have a lot more experience with people. And I think sometimes it's just being either emotionally intelligent or being able to relate to people that is one of the biggest parts of being a PT. Maybe like not knowing all the exercises is great, knowing what to do is great, but if you can't, you're so one-on-one with people and you need to be relatable, that actually
It's
that's one of the most important parts of the job, I would argue.
it's able to have that conversation, and
Mm.
like, a lady messaged me on Instagram and just said, I'm really struggling at the moment, I'm going through the menopause, I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I've put on weight, I don't feel right. And I reached out to her straight away, and it wasn't because of like, okay, I can get 10 PTs out of her, this is good.
Yeah.
I recognized that she was reaching out, being the age that I am a mum, that I am in the menopause stage, that I am relatable, that
Mm-hmm.
I was a lady that, had put on weight. I had 4 children. I was at home, 17 years I was at home looking after my children, wasn't working, which very fortunate that I was able to do that. Um, but for women now, lots of the clients that come into the gym now, all of them are training up until the day before they're having a baby now. It's amazing. Majority of our clients recently have trained up to the last day, and the next day the baby's been born. 6 to 8 weeks later, they're able to come straight back into the gym. And I've noticed such, their mental health is so much
Mm.
different to back then, possibly when I had my children. So fitness is amazing, and it's not about how you look, it's how you feel and how it makes you feel is so important.
Yeah, 100%. And I think changing that narrative about doing fitness to lose weight, to look better, it's more about like what your body can do, how you feel. And sometimes, like you said, you're at a CrossFit gym, like the community as well, which is like a huge thing that started to be brought into gyms now. I mean, I don't know so much in the corporate setting. I guess for them, it's probably more team building and getting to know each other, but breaking down those barriers through fizz as well.
Yeah. I mean, in the CrossFit gym that I'm in, I mean, there is people that are older than me, but majority of our clients there are probably in their 30s. That's where you're seeing a big jump of people that are training at the moment in their 30s.
Mm.
Um, and I can train alongside them, and they will say to me, can you be my partner today? Which is
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, you know, our parents' age, if you look back, majority of people in their 50s were slowly going down into retirement and less moving. And if anything, we're moving more. When I did my first Hyrox, I was, I went to leave, and then this lady said to me, I think you've won. And I was like, what? I've won? I just came to do it. I was the only 50-year-old there. I
Oh,
was the
wow.
only one. And the next one I did, I was the only one. And then I was like, guys, where are you all? And it's grown, like now I'm getting pushed out of my age. I was like, hold on, guys, I used to get podium all the time. Um, but I love it. I love that, women are now, older women are now finding it, and
Mm.
a lot of athletes that are retiring in their sports. That's why we're seeing such great athletes and women coming through, is they were athletic, they've retired in the sport that they were, and now they're finding a new sport. And then for myself, it's like it's a sport for everyone. I haven't come from an athletic background. I found it later in life. I regret not doing it earlier, but everything
Yeah,
happens for a reason, and everyone
100%.
everyone's got their, I wouldn't be who I am today if my life wasn't mapped out the way it was. So yeah, it's exciting, training has changed. I've got 4 children. One of my daughters now is training and has now understood why I do what I do and how I feel the way I do. And, for me, for women, it's about longevity, and it's about when you get to my age, how important strength training is. So it's educating women now to implement that into their life, because when we get older, it's so important.
Yeah, and just out of interest, what about your like friend group? If like, I mean, there's that whole narrative of like older women when you say do some weight training and they pick up 2-3 kilogram dumbbells and that's weight training. But like,
Yeah.
what about like everyone thinking like, you're pushing heavy sleds, you're doing like lunges with a power bag on your back. Like, what's the thoughts on like, do you have any friends that think you're crazy, or has it made people come along with you, or?
Yeah, a lot of, I think when I first started, probably people that were just friends in my life, I feel that they've gone.
Okay,
Um,
yeah.
I've moved on. Yeah, they could see that, they just think, God, you're addicted. And I found that I just didn't want to, I was always talking about training all the time. So I found that my friendship group has massively changed. A lot of my friends now, obviously they're all at my gym, which is amazing, which is my family as such, as well as my
Yeah.
family. But I found I've got more friends now through Hyrox. So the first year that I competed, I won like a 12-week training thing with Jade Skillen.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, which was
Perfect.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Then I became really good friends with her, and I went on a training camp to Malaga.
Yeah.
And the first training camp I went on, when we got there, we all got there, your rooms in Mike's camp. And the first thing we had to do was an 8K run up a hill with a 20 kg sandbag on your back. I go, you change it. And I met a lady called Jodie, and we didn't know each other at all. Conversation wasn't much. It was just, I'll take it, you take it. Come on, let's
Yeah.
keep
Getting it
going.
done.
We got back to camp and everyone thought we knew each other. There was no words exchanged at all. And since then, we've become really good friends ever since. And not just her, there's Claire, there's Abby, there's Anne, there's a vast amount of, we call each other a tribe. We found a tribe
Yeah.
in Malaga, and they've all become my friends now, and they live all over the country. We're not next door to each other, but yeah, my friends are not local now.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like that concept of when you go to school and you're in your community, where you grew up. And then if you go a little bit wider, you start to find people that are more like you, I guess, that have got more interests with you. And you don't always stay friends with the guys and girls you're with at school
You
because you've
don't
like kind of
at
been
all.
put together. And yeah, it's right what you say about the community. And I guess Hyrox, that's one of the biggest things about Hyrox is people are starting to make really good connections and find people that are very much like them, that they bounce off, that they just connect with straight away.
Absolutely. And even when I went up to Neil Master's gym with Rocks Queens,
Mm-hmm.
it was before Worlds. And there was a lady there called Sue, and she'd qualified in open. And she was like, I can't do pro, I haven't do pro. And just by me having a conversation and just saying to her, you can
Yeah.
do it. She did. And she was like, yeah, I'm going to go and do it. And it's just, it is just having a conversation with somebody that can absolutely change their mindset
Mm.
of what they're capable of doing. That's the wonderful thing about Hyrox, that it has created that everyone is welcome, everyone can do it. And even when me and my partner did Hyrox Worlds this year in Nice, I've been injured this year through running. She had become injured the month up to it.
Mm.
And I even said to her on the day, you know what? We started together, we're going to finish together. Even we've got to walk them 1Ks, we'll walk them 1Ks, we'll do it. And you know what? We did it. We had to slow our runs down, but it was actually the most amazing race.
Okay.
If anything, again, every race you learn something new.
100%. Yeah.
It's amazing how it's the same format, but you always think, oh, I could do this.
Mm.
We were smashing our workouts because our runs were slower, we were able to get in and get out. We were so fast. So there was a lot of greatness to take away from that race, and we absolutely loved it. And it was amazing.
Oh, that's so
That,
cool. And
that's Jerry, aka Karen, she's known as. You'll know her. She's one of the head judges as well.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fair. And I feel like this is where Hyrox is really good as well. Like if somebody is injured, like Emma's been injured this year, I trapped a bit of a nerve, but you can change like what you're doing. So that, you know, if you've got a bit of an injury on like an upper body, you can focus on your runs. If you can't run, you can start to do a bit more upper body and do a bit more strength. You know, there's always something you can do because it's that like setup.
Absolutely, you can always do something. And the wonderful thing about if you do have an injury, which normally is from running, unfortunately, because we're all that a lot, that's where a lot of people are getting injured, is that you can use the ergs
Yeah,
and you can
exactly.
keep up your zone too. Like I'm an ambassador for Opta Nutrition, and I was supposed to do a five was it a 10K run, 10K run, and in 50 minutes. That was my time that I was supposed to do, and I couldn't do it. So I had to think, right, I've got to get this done. What can I do? And I thought I can ski.
Mm.
So I did it on ski.
10K
I did
ski.
10K. Do you know what? I loved it. I love setting myself like little goals. I have done a half marathon on ski before,
Oh,
alongside
do you get
somebody that
motion
was.
sickness?
No, I was. Do you know what? When I finished, I did kiss the floor, but I loved it. I loved it, and I love watching the numbers and thinking, right, each K, I'm going to keep it at that pace, and there's something quite
Yeah.
therapeutic. So yeah, setting yourself little goals. If you can't run, keeping up your zone two
Mm-hmm.
on the ski, the row, the bike is they're nice bits of kit. So I
Yeah,
enjoy
and
them.
yeah, totally. And also not even just if you're injured, just the fact you can mix things up in your training. You don't always have to do the same thing. You can jump on different things, and yeah, you can do your zone two on, you know, the bike or on the road. You don't always have to go out for a run, like you
No, you
said.
don't.
It keeps things interesting, doesn't it? And it keeps the consistency in the training, which then builds that habit that you were talking about at the beginning, which is what
Yeah,
you
it
need to.
and you do like off season now, like all of us, we're all, like I'm freestyling. I call it like, last summer I started doing CrossFit.
Okay.
And it was brilliant. I got really, really strong within the like I just loved it. And then I was like, got to September and I was like, what am I doing? Am I going back to Hyrox? Because you do sort of, go for a bit
Yeah.
of a lull through the
Mm-hmm.
summer of if you do get into worlds, you get so excited and all of a sudden you do get a little bit of a come down because you're like, what am I
Yeah.
doing? But I've just been working on, being strong, doing things that I love, freestyling some workouts, which, I haven't got any coach at the moment. I do like a bit of accountability.
Yeah.
So just training, doing my own stuff at the moment, which I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
I do like that accountability and also, working in two gyms. I am really busy. And it's like, that's your training today. That's what you got to do. And sometimes, a coach always needs coaching. So now I'm on the lookout. I'm sort of checking
Okay,
everyone
cool.
out now and just seeing
Yeah.
what I can do, who can improve me. The biggest one of all, obviously, is I'm not from a running background, is running. Like, you've got a lot of people that are strong in Hyrox and you've got a good percentage that are great at running. And running is my issue. So I need to get better at it. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
totally. And then it's finding the right person for you, isn't it? Like maybe it might be a running coach for you, like a specific running coach to just work on your running, not a Hyrox coach because you've got so much experience in it and in the
yeah.
gym that might fit for you. And I think that's the good thing. There's so many coaches out there right now
Oh,
that
there's
Hyrox
amazing.
coach. It's crazy.
I mean, you've got Sam Bilby, you've got the Hogans, you've got Jade Skillen,
Yeah. And they're just the ones
and you've got Rebecca Mason. You've got
yeah.
all the elite as well at the moment. I mean, there's great coaches out there, and you'll see all the great coaches have a coach.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm a big believer in that. I think like it doesn't matter like how good you are, you always need to like bounce off people. And whether it's just a coach to, we were talking to Meg Jacoby and she said she does coach herself, but she also does a bit with Rich Ryan, but he like also almost keeps her accountable to make sure she has a rest. it's even just that kind of thing where you've got
Oh,
someone like, whoa,
absolutely.
you're just overdoing it a little bit. Have a rest day or have a deload week. You know, it's
We've all done that. We've all overtrained, and you know, even a week or two up to Worlds, if somebody has to stop because they've a lot of people become ill all of a sudden before they're going into a competition, and
yeah.
I don't know, your body all of a sudden starts to highlight little tingles, and you're like, oh, am I going to get an injury? You've just got to listen to your body. And I always think coming up to a competition, there's no more you can do at that point. And there's nothing you could lose, but if you overtrain, yeah, something can happen. So just sit back. The work has been done. Mental attitude, you know, thinking about your race, going into it, visualization. I mean, I always visualize. I put a certain music on and I think, yeah, I'm there, I'm running. And then you know, I visualize
Okay, yeah.
smashing it, and it's just amazing. And we all have bad races as well. I've had a race where I've done an extra lap. You know, I've had a
Yeah.
race where I've had a stitch. I've had a race where I've thought, why did I choose to do this?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this to myself today?
And what
Um,
point was that? Where were you when you thought that?
I think it was when I was in Birmingham. It was me and Jerry when we did our first ladies doubles, and we went out really hot. We ran it was like 3:40 pace, way
Oosh.
faster than I'd ever done. We were third in on the ski, we were third out on the ski, and then the stitch came. And for the
Oh,
whole duration, the stitch was there. I was in pain. My thought process was was even thinking, how do I take my chip off and put it on her leg? I was thinking, like, how do I get out of this race? I just want to get out of this race. I thought about I was just like, how can I get out? And you know, once it was over, my stitch had coincidentally goes when we finish.
yeah.
Um, but then we did Glasgow, and we mapped it out so differently because me and Jerry have always done ladies pro, so we've always been.
Okay.
We went straight in and did ladies pro, and but yeah, doing it together. Then we thought about it a lot more in Glasgow. Our warm up, we decided to keep it outside. We didn't go inside. We didn't.
Oh
Uh,
wow, that's
we did
different.
a
I've
walk.
not heard that before.
Yeah, so we did a mobility at the hotel. We got all that done. Got to the thing to Glasgow, stood outside, did like a 1K warm up, did some sprints, loads of mobility. About half an hour before we went in, dropped our bag off, got ourselves ready, went to the toilet, went to the start line. Do you know what? It was amazing. It was such a good start. So we'd peaked our heart rate before, and we were ready and just went to the start line, and it ran beautifully. We knew what pace. We don't talk, all we do is numbers. One,
Mm,
two, in. However
yeah.
many laps it is, that's all we say is numbers. Um, we worked out who was doing what. We knew we wouldn't speak to each other during the race. Me not saying to her, come on, pull more on the ski. None of that
Mm,
was done. And it ran beautifully. Yeah, it was really good. And then Nice was even better. Even though we were injured, it ran like clockwork because
mm.
we had a plan. We
Yeah.
stuck to the plan. Obviously, sometimes things can go wrong. You know, I've known somebody through a Hyrox that became ill, set off with their partner. They became ill. Their partner did not know they were ill, gradually became iller and iller. When they finished the race, she had to be pulled off on a stretcher. She'd been abroad. She had some tummy bug, became really ill, dehydration. But sometimes you don't know that your partner gradually through the race can. So you've got to be
Yeah.
able to make changes, and recognize, hold on, my partner's not right. I'm going to take over now on some of the workouts. So as much as we have a plan, we have to be adaptable, you know.
Yeah, for sure. A plan only lasts so long, isn't it? What they say, a plan never survives first contact or something.
Yeah.
Is that the phrase? I don't even know.
We'll go with
Sound like
that.
I
We'll
know what
go
I'm
with
talking
that.
about. We'll go with that. But like, yeah, there's always a way. I mean, I race a lot with like with mixed with doubles, and we always have a plan, and then always something happens, and one of us is like, nah, you go, or oh no, you start this, or we're gonna have to change. There's always something that
Yeah.
changes on the race day. I don't think we've ever done something and done a plan and it's gone like perfect. There's always had to be a slight, slight
Something
change to the
happens.
plan. Yeah.
Well, that's why we did our warm up outside, because I'm known as chatting to too many people,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
and people like go hi and they recognize me from judging, or it's just you know, I am a very much people person. So I was pulled out that specifically for I have gone into a race and not warmed up properly. And that's probably
Yeah.
what happened in Birmingham. It was a case of going into the warm-up area. And sometimes you have a plan for the warm-up area and every bit of kit is taken and every
Yeah.
bit of area, and all of a sudden you
Yeah.
get thrown. So
Yeah.
that was why we did what we did. It was because so we knew we got that warm-up, because how important it is to be able to get that heart rate peaked before,
Mhm.
bring it down, go into the race itself. It worked beautifully for us, and that's the reason why, is because I'm known as chatting to lots of people.
I mean, it's great, isn't it? It just, when you're trying to get something done and time gets away with you, and like everyone wants to say hi. And I guess because you're so well known in Hyrox right
Yeah,
now, and like Hyrox UK being a head judge, everyone will recognize your face. So
absolutely. I think it was the first Glasgow one. Jade Skillen had an injury and she always did a live. And
okay.
me and Jodie were there and we said, well, we can do it for you. So Jodie filmed it and talked, and I did all the movements. So we took everyone through the first Glasgow course,
Oh wow.
which was amazing. And it was really good fun. I didn't realize, obviously, I was ended up doing all the movements and running through. It
Yeah.
got very hot. But what the wonderful thing was in Glasgow, when I was judging the next day, the amount of people that stopped and said, whilst like doing a burpee broad jump, I saw you last night, you were brilliant, thank you so much for that, and carried on. The amount of people that actually thanked me was amazing.
Oh, that's so
Because they
nice.
really, really appreciated knowing you know, what the course was going to look like, because it was so
Yeah.
different to
Everyone
all.
gets very apprehensive about that, don't they?
Everyone gets very worried about how many laps. I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's 1K. It
Yeah.
is going to be the same amount of distance, but you know, yeah, Glasgow's been put down as, you know, a lot of people got PBs in
Yeah,
Glasgow.
yeah, fast,
But I think
fast
it's
course.
just the way of the course, because it's, you know, the way it was mapped out. It's like a little race course, and
Yeah.
it makes people run a little bit faster, maybe.
Yeah, potentially, for sure.
Yeah.
So Michelle, if we take it all the way back to the start of Hyrox, like how did you hear about it? How did you get involved? And then how did you become a head judge? Like what's that story? How did you get involved in Hyrox from
Itself.
working in gyms? Yeah, where did this journey with Hyrox start?
Well, it was probably November 2021. It would have been London. And at JJK, Joe, who owns our gym, and Lewis, who was our gym manager at the time, they decided to do Hyrox. And
Okay.
none of us knew anything about it. A client had told them there's this thing going on in London, you should go. So
Hmm.
they went down there, and we feel really awful now. We didn't go and watch him. There was probably it was probably about 800 people at that race. That's how small
Crazy,
it
isn't
was.
it?
And they came second to Hunter McIntyre and Tom Hogan.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, yeah, there was probably about, if you look back on the stats, there was probably about a 10-minute difference, but they
But
hadn't.
second.
But yeah, but they hadn't even trained for
Wow.
typically for they ran. We were functional fitness at the time. It was just all running, cardio, weights, etc. But nothing specific. We had a sled, so we did sled
Mhm.
pull and push. So yeah, they went and did it, and they came second in men's doubles. So that then made us all quite excited. I think I'd become 50 that year as well, and I'd started competing. So I started going in, doing a few um, um, competitions. I was and did, you know, just doing a bike ride, just doing fun things, swimming, did a
Yeah.
triathlon, and I thought, right, okay, I'm gonna do that. And that's was the Manchester 2022. I just thought, right, I'm just going to go straight in and do pro. I didn't even think about the weights,
Good
because
on.
I'm good on strength, but obviously running was my weakness. And went to Manchester. I remember I went to move the sled and I could not even move it. It was like, wow. Like I literally was like, how am I going to do this? And all my friends were watching me, because we all went, there was about 50 of us that went from our gym. Then it caught fire in our gym. Everyone was like, we're coming with you.
Oh,
So
that's so cool.
we JJK went up massive. We were like, it must have been over 50 clients. So we went up there. Obviously, I did move it and everything. And I think from then on, a few months later, I got contacted by one of the team at Hyrox. We became a Hyrox affiliation straight away. It was
Okay.
like, I said to Joe straight away, it's a win-win. This is going to go massive. Like we need to get in there now. So we became a Hyrox affiliation pretty much straight away. Everyone was addicted. And with that, I got contacted by Hyrox saying, would you like to be one of our head judges?
Oh, wow.
So then I became a head judge. Then, of course, through that, they became like they did, you became a Hyrox coach. So as an affiliation, you get asked to do that. So I went into London with a couple of the team, and we did that. And it's grown from strength to strength. And at JJK, we do a sim once a month. We've had people travel from Cornwall, from all over the country to come and do our sim. So we've been doing them for a couple of years, but it's become much bigger now. So we replicate as much as we can. The run is a 1K run, which is down the road and back.
Yeah.
But we find out people's times, and we have obviously a staggered start, and we create that sim now once a month at JJK, which is it's brilliant. It's really good. A lot of people love it. It gives them a good taste if it's their first time of doing a Hyrox,
Yeah.
what to expect, and also what they need to do. And what I implement there while I'm there is judging standards.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't read what the standards are, and
No.
they come to Hyrox and they go, I didn't know that, and I didn't do it. And then the standards can change, so you should always read them for every race because they can change.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great that I'm able to say about, and I'll no rep them, and give them say, I'm going to give you 10 seconds and explain to them on the day when you're doing your warbles, I'm not going to be there. You might have a judge that just counts and just, 10. I said, you need to be able to push because that's the last station. So I try and implement that sort of into them when they're coming
Yeah.
to and doing a Hyrox sim.
I mean, that's really good that you're there to help people, especially with your experience on that side. Like actually being a judge for Hyrox and being able to run a sim and help people out from that side is
Yeah.
super useful, especially things like even like the burpee broad jumps when they've got so strict now about having to put your hands near your feet, just little things like that. If you know and you can go into a race just feeling a little bit more prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even one of the girls messaged me and she said, the line, do I put my hands on the line? And she said, I didn't know that before. There wasn't one before because there used to be the line and then the other line. And it's just, setting the standards really of the broad burpee jump and making sure and walking behind your partner, obviously we're really busy and a lot of them go out. I mean, if it's empty, I know that, when some are going out and they're standing walking beside their partner, but realistically you've got to keep behind your partner at all times. No drinks to be passed. I mean, the amount of times you see drinks being passed to people, and it's a rule, you're not allowed to
Has
do that.
anyone ever been disqualified or anything for that? Have you ever seen it?
I haven't disqualified, but you just warn them, no, put the drink, you just go up to the person and say they can't take their drink. It's just a warning.
Okay.
But yeah, I haven't personally, but I don't know whether another head judge has. But the head judging standards has been brilliant for the last few years. I think there's been a massive turnover because I think one year in Birmingham, everyone, they got a little bit slated. Because but the judging standards are really good. A lot of the judges we have all competed, we compete. So we know.
And I think is that important? Are you encouraged to compete or because I
Oh,
feel like once you've done a race, you kind of understand it.
yeah, absolutely. I think it is encouraged to be able to experience what it is like to understand where the athlete is and what they're doing. And, it's like when they come up to the sled pull or push, they look at me and they go, how many lengths? And you'll always see me going, 4, and everyone says, why have they forgotten? But you do, in the heat of the moment, your brain,
Oh,
in the race,
yeah, you do.
you're gone. You're just, so, you just need that support and to understand what the athlete's going through
Yeah.
is important and to keep them going. Another story is a young lady in Glasgow actually, and she was on the sled and she wanted to get over. She just was like, went into a little bit of a panic mode. Her friends were there and she was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And I
Oh.
talked her through, and she was very young. I just said, you can do this. So I managed to get her through the sled. She really wanted to give up. And I said, do not give up. Even if you walk it, just get it done. I sort of saw her out, made sure she got a drink of water. And I said, you can do this. Do you know what? She did it. She found me through Instagram,
Oh.
one of her friends, to thank me. And every time I saw her since, she comes up to me, she says, I've booked another one. I've booked another one. And it's just something like that. Like, I remember that. And that's special to me, to know that she could have given up. But again, just by having just kept her going, I think it's important.
Yeah.
The sport is for everyone. We have got the athletes, we've got the elite, and they don't need us as such to be supporting them, because they're in their own headspace. But for other people, it makes such a massive change. If she'd given up, then I felt she would never go back to it again. It would be such a big thing. So for that's one story that is really special to me, that I made that difference.
And I think, yeah, for sure. And it's obviously within you to be like that. That's why you like your coaching and your PT. And I think it's nice to hear that, people hear the word judge. It's quite like a harsh word, isn't it? And everyone's like, oh, the judging. But actually, I think in Hyrox, like all the judges and the volunteers and everyone is very encouraging. Like even on the wall balls, they're like, come on, you can do it. Like do 3 more, get to 50. They're trying to help you keep going. And I think
Well,
it's not about stopping you or giving you a penalty or always telling you where to go. It's also the other side, like you just said, encouraging people to keep moving and try and finish the race to the best of their ability.
Absolutely. All you need is that person there, just being there to the end, knowing, especially on the wall balls, which is,
Yeah.
and I always say to all the judges, obviously we've got numerous judges chat, it takes all the other workouts to get to there. All the judges are important to get to that last one, that wall balls, which is, as we all know, the toughest one to get through. But we know once we're done, we're over that line.
Yeah.
And we've recovered, and it's like, oh, and sometimes you just need that little person in your ear saying, you can do this. Give yourself 10 seconds. And some people will say that, give me 10 seconds. Just pick the ball up, big deep breath in. Come on, let's get it done. Let's go again. And I do enjoy that element of I love being a judge, and I love being an athlete. I love both of them. Both jobs are brilliant. Yeah.
Quite nice to have the two, isn't it? It's quite nice to not just do the one thing. So if this is a good one because we're on the judging, how about like 3 top tips for people that are either just about to race Hyrox or race Hyrox, from also an athlete as well as a head judge? Like, what are the most important things that you think people could implement into their race strategy or during their race to help them either get over that finish line and actually finish their first Hyrox, or to improve and get a PB?
Yeah, I just think
2 or 3 tips.
Yeah, I think my tips is to get your zone 2. Zone 2 runs are the main engine build. Obviously, Hyrox is mainly a running race. And so your running is really, really important, but also your mobility, your warm up. I'm now, because I've been injured, because I'm always trying to get my workouts done. I rather get the warm up done, get the mobility in, and not finish the last 10 minutes of my workout. That is more important. Recovery is so important as well, for you to make adaptations to your body. So you must recover. Strength training is also important. Obviously, you want to get that strength and compromise strength, because we know that we're going to go from a sled push straight back out into those running as well. Don't just keep overdoing those sims constantly. You don't have to. And also, you don't have to smash one day of a workout into the next day. Don't red line every day. You don't have to. Get yourself a coach. Don't just be jumping on the next, oh yeah, that looks a good workout. Where are you gaining from that? So get yourself a coach, or like ourselves at JJK, we've got you know, we've got 3 Hyrox a week, we've got a mixed model, we've got a strength, we've got a race day ready. Follow a structure is important, but definitely get your zone 2 runs, mobility, recovery, food, sleep. Oh, there's lots, isn't there?
There's that's more than 3, but then
I can't help it, but there's so much.
it's you're passionate about it. I love it. It's
And,
great.
and think about, you know, before you're going training, think about what you've eaten. Like Daryl, the nutritionist guy, I had Daryl for a few months, and I saw him at Rocks Queens at the weekend with Hunter McIntyre.
Yeah.
Fuel is key. For an example, you know, when I did pro in Olympia, I did single women's pro, and my race was 7 o'clock in the evening. You're thinking about, oh my God, what am I going to eat? I ate normally in the morning. I had my breakfast, my snacks. I had my lunch a bit bigger. And then it was thinking, right, dinner. But do I want dinner and do a Hyrox? So I went and got myself, I had my snacks, but I got myself a Huel drink, which I don't have all the time. Got Huel, had that. That was my meal. Raced, was brilliant. Afterwards, I had another Huel drink because I got those vitamins back in. The next day, got up, I felt great. So food is really, really important to get those energies in and making sure that you're getting those foods in. And it isn't about hydrating the day before or that day. It's that week before hydration. Again, in Nice, a lot of people dehydrated in Nice. And that week before, I made sure my hydration, I could not stop going to the toilet. You know, I was hydrating every day. I was having coconut water, which was fantastic, actually. Really, really enjoyed it. So, you know, exercise is really important, but it's one element. You need to think about everything else, your food, your sleep, your lifestyle. Us as women, our hormones plays a major part. And sometimes things go wrong because of what's going on in our bodies, unfortunately. And sometimes it can be to our strengths where we are in our cycle, or it can be to our weaknesses. And don't beat yourself up for that. As women, you know, we have these bodies which are amazing, but obviously you've got to go through these cycles, and you know, just remember that, and don't beat yourself up too much. You know, you've got to go with it as such.
Yeah, 100% you do. And I mean, there's a lot of people now that do train to their cycle as well, like, and use that. So they know when they can push and put a harder session in, and they know the weeks that they might need to back off. And that's the time when they can take a bit of a deload week. And that's another thing that if like people don't track their cycles, it's probably something they should be doing just to help them with their training, or understand, like you just said, you go and do a hard session, but today you can't do it, but you've done it before, and you get frustrated with yourself, but actually it might not be you.
Yeah, absolutely. Or why can't I PB today? And there is the week you can PB, and go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just maybe look at how you are, look at what you're eating, making sure you're fueling right. Like bagels are life at the moment. Like my bagel jam, my peanut butter, and even my new one is like the thin bagels with banana and a little bit of honey on is absolutely, that'll be my little go-to, my little carb. Going into training. So yeah, just making sure you're fueling correctly for these types of workouts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we did a podcast actually with Daryl, which was really like good to, I guess, get around that myth of like, you know, for so long carbs have been like the demon, and now it's like carbs. We need carbs, especially in a race like Hyrox. You need that energy availability to be able to achieve, you know,
I don't know whether
you can't.
Have you ever been in a workout and all of a sudden your body is screamed out like,
yeah, you just hit the wall, don't you?
You do. Your body, I recognize I need it, and carbs are really good. Potatoes are good. You know, food is good. And, you know, don't look as food as a bad thing. And I've, as a personal trainer, I've had people saying, "Oh God, it's that bad time of year now. It's Christmas or it's Easter." I'm like, I don't look at food like that.
No.
I love food. Christmas is one day. I'll eat what I want that one day, but I know I'll go back into my normal cycle of eating. You know, Easter, have an Easter egg, enjoy that egg, enjoy that food. But I think if you mentally are like that about food, it becomes this thing. You've got to look at it as food is good, and enjoy it, and have lots of colourful food. And if you've eaten, a bit naughty. Yeah, I don't go and have McDonald's. I don't. But yeah, I might. I don't drink. As I've got older, I will have a drink. I don't completely, but I hardly have a drink anymore.
Mm.
Because when I do the next day, I'm like, this is why I don't drink.
Feel awful, don't you?
How it
Yeah.
makes me feel, what it makes me want to eat. But
Mm.
I will still, like this Saturday, I got a party, and guess what? I am going to have a drink.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's all about balance, isn't it? It's all about enjoying yourself and not being too, and I understand that you've got the elites and they are like specific and people are doing it for their jobs, but I think, yeah, you've got to have balance and you've got to enjoy your life and you can't punish yourself for eating this and then I've got to go and do this. And it's trying to find, I guess, a better relationship with food and physical exercise.
Absolutely. And even the people, I've even, said, and there are a lot of Hyrox people that are, quite obsessed with Hyrox. And it's wonderful in a way, but try and live a little bit more as well.
Yeah.
Try and live a normal life because, yeah, if that went and you couldn't, what would you do? And a lot of people as well that do fitness have suffered. I've suffered in my life after having children. I suffered with depression.
Mm.
I know a guy who, and he's openly said, I won't say his name, but he has openly said, he went to commit suicide. He jumped off a cliff. He survived. And then he found meaning in life and then found Hyrox. So, we'll all suffer with mental illness at some point in our life,
Mm.
unfortunately. But exercise definitely lifts so many of us and gets us to find a bit of meaning in our life again and
Mm.
build community and new friendship groups. And that's like even the Rocks Queens, Caitlin founded it because she was on her own. She was training on her
Yeah.
own. And then all these women that are training on their own have found each other. I'm sure maybe we need to find Rocks Kings. How many men are
Yeah.
out training on their own as well? Um,
100%.
and that person. So yeah, there's lots of wonderful things have happened through Hyrox,
Yeah,
definitely.
I think you're right. It's more than just a sport, isn't it? And it's bringing people together. It's helping people like in their lives. It's if people need to find a community or are feeling a bit lonely, they've found people that are like them or empower them or make them a better person. Maybe and that's one of the best things aside from the fact it's a great sport and it's obviously like gripped everyone to go and
Mm.
every time you do it, you think you can beat your PB. You want to go back again and do it.
I know, you just constantly, where can I get better? And even all the CrossFit gyms locally to us, they're all becoming affiliations. So
Yeah, it's cool,
before
isn't it?
it was like CrossFit or
CrossFit and
Hyrox.
Hyro, yeah, yeah.
Now they're realizing that you can do both. I mean, I've had to pull away from, last year I was training a little bit more CrossFit. Yeah, of course I had to pull away.
Mm.
So there's certain things that I really want to do better at with CrossFit that I can't because. But now whilst we're in summer and a bit of fun, I'm sort of working on those areas, to have a little bit of fun and finding
Yeah.
things that you like this summer. Doing things like like on Sunday I went outdoor swimming, and it was just wonderful. So do other things. We are always moving. Go for a walk, get out with nature, enjoy the
Yeah.
sunshine because we have got it at the moment.
I know it's going to be 32 degrees in London tomorrow.
Oh
Wow.
gosh, that's
Crazy, I know. I'm
gonna be
not
a
looking forward to
scorcher.
that.
No,
Not gonna
I
lie.
wouldn't either.
Yeah, but it does, and maybe because Hyrox is making people fitter and they're happier, they are going to go and try different things. Once you feel a bit more confident in yourself, you feel a bit fitter, you are more likely to go and go for a bike ride, or when you're away, decide to do a bit of rock climbing, or go and climb that mountain. You are going to do a few more things because you've got that baseline fitness. So it does lead to something
It
else.
leads to other things. Find a hobby. Tennis. A
Yeah.
couple of years ago, I took up tennis. I thought I need to find another sport, something else to do. They said to me I was too bouncy. I'd say because I was doing doubles and I had a bit too much energy. I was like, I need to move a little bit more. It was like I had to pull it a little bit back.
Yeah.
But it was like it's really wonderful. And you know what I'm really excited about is the younger generation of age is going to live so much more longer.
Yeah, it's
You
definitely
know,
flipping now. Where people used to go to the pub after work, everyone's going to the
Everyone,
gym, or
everyone
yeah,
goes to the gym,
mm,
or it's all about going a coffee and having brunch together,
yeah, brunch
you
is the
know,
thing now.
oh, brunch and coffee. Coffee is
I'm
life.
buzzing about that. Yeah, I know. It's the best thing
I,
ever.
that's what me and my girls do. They'll say, can I come down and see you? We'll do a workout and we'll go and have brunch. I
Yeah.
mean, that is my night out now, and
Yeah,
but
same.
I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it. But yeah, it's great, and you're meeting people that not necessarily met. And all the adaptive athletes as well. You
100%.
know, it's just it's like you've had like as well Tor as well. You've had her on your,
Mm.
she is an absolute inspiration.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And when Tor did, I think she did London, and she came into Warbles and I was judging there. And that evening I was doing relays and I judged all weekend. And it is pretty exhausting judging. You're on your
Mm.
feet a lot and you're giving a lot and a lot of your energy's gone. And I was doing a relay that evening and Tor came in and did her Warbles. And honestly, the bandstand, everything was like lifted with her being there, but it was very emotional as well.
Mm.
And I just thought, of course you can do relays, Michelle.
Mm.
Of course you can. So, seeing people in their lives and what they're experiencing at the moment,
Mm.
you know, athletes, that have lost a limb and they're doing
Mm.
it or they're in a wheelchair. I'm just like, you can do anything. And that's what I would say to anyone that's thinking about, I can't do it. You can do
Mm.
anything. And like I say, even if you walk it round, and I've seen people walk it round, you will get to that finish line and you will get that patch. And, it's about you. It's not
Yeah.
about anyone else. It's your lane and it's your race and it's your life.
Yeah, do it
So
for you. Yeah.
do it for you. Stop worrying about the other girls at the gym and they look stronger, or the guys, or they look stronger and look at
Mm.
me. You know what? We've all got to start somewhere. And I'm sure when I first went, and I did years ago, I picked up a little weight and showed it, and it's on my stories. I started with a 4 kg kettlebell. Like,
Mm.
I didn't jump in and start with the big weights.
Yeah, for sure.
You've got to start somewhere, and that's how you get stronger. So don't feel, everyone started. Hunter McIntyre, Megan, Becca Mason, all of them started with a small kettlebell or weight. And
Yeah.
they carried on with it. And that's why they are there today. So that's what I would say to anyone that's starting their journey. Do not give up.
Yeah, you've
Just
just
start.
got to start. Yeah, you
You've
just
got
got
to
to start
start.
somewhere.
And I know starting is the hardest bit.
Yeah, it is.
Starting is
But
the hard.
then maybe I think with the introduction of Hyrox, and I guess like one of the best things that ever came out of CrossFit, I think, is that community aspect in a gym. Because you go into like a box, or you go into a Hyrox affiliated gym now, and they're so friendly and the communities are so great
Absolutely.
that people feel accepted. And maybe that barrier to going into a gym isn't as, walking into a weights room and seeing all these big like testosterone loaded guys throwing weights around, and people are like, whoa, this isn't for
But
me.
it's quite scary.
Yeah.
But I mean, in most gyms nowadays, they, hopefully would do an introduction into gym, like a foundation. So it
Yes,
introduces
exactly.
people into CrossFit and into functional fitness. And a lot of our foundation people, they start and they get to so used to the people around them, they just want to stay within that, and they feel safe.
Yeah.
So
And it's the accountability as well, isn't it? If they're going to the session, they're like, oh, I can't not turn up because everyone will wonder where I am. So then you've got that
yeah,
other level of accountability, which keeps you, consistent.
and just trying things out, like as gyms, lots of gyms now, we all do competitions. Most gyms now do
Mm.
competitions, and then even turf games. We brought so many clients that had never done turf before in their life,
Mm.
and they are buzzing. And it's just now they're like, yeah, there
It's
is room
great.
for everyone. There
Yeah,
is room for everyone.
it's brilliant. It's such a, yeah, it's so great to see. And I think if you're in the, if you are a coach or a PT or something, it's so like inspirational to see people want to be part of it and have things to offer. A lot more people now, a lot of people we coach, they have a focus for their training. They're not just, oh, I don't really want to do a run, and I don't really like CrossFit's a bit too much. And now I feel like Hyrox has just created this space where people have something to train for, that's given people that oomph and that fire in their belly to improve or get to the gym, and then they get addicted, and it's cool to see.
It is. It's so addictive, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know, it's all the park runs. They're great as well because then you're
for
running
sure.
with people, so they're really. I mean, even as a starting point for everyone, go and do a park run. Just
Yeah,
go, just start being with a
absolutely.
crowd of people, and then you know make those changes. And
Yeah,
before they know it, and they'll think, why didn't I do this before? But
yeah,
we're all scared at that beginning point, you know, all of us are. I know I was walking into a gym. And even now, like say for instance, I'm away and I think, right, because I have to train, you know, I will find somewhere else to train.
yeah,
And and it's a reminder for me actually, when I do go to a gym, my parents live in Exeter. So I'll go down there and go to the CrossFit gym down there. And I remember first when I went there and I got in, I was like, I'm on my own, I don't know anybody. And I did think that. And I was like, you know, but luckily, I mean, I will talk to people, I'll go up to people, but we're all very different people, and
yeah,
some shy than others. But I just thought I'll get my headphones in, I'll just get in the zone, it'll be fine. And by the end of my workout that I did, the other guys were like, you know, next time you come down, do you want to join in with us?
yeah. That's so nice.
But it was a good reminder for me. It is
Mm,
scary. So
yeah.
yeah, I get that.
No, totally. And it's good to have that, yeah, like you said, have that reminder as a coach so you're not, or when you don't go to the same gym every time and you have to kind of restart.
And
But
be that new person and everyone's talking to each other and you're just standing.
yeah, yeah,
It's horrible, but that's where I became a personal trainer because I was at the gym, I saw the new person walk in and I went
yeah,
up to them. So that's how this happened. My story happened is I was that person that, you know, gradually they thought I worked at the gym. So I thought, oh, I
might as well get
I've
paid
been
for
doing
it.
level 2 and 3, might as well get paid for this. So yeah, that's how it happened. So, and also, you know, for anyone thinking of becoming a personal trainer, or you know, like you can change your life at any point. You
Mm,
know, no road is the same. You're like a tree, you can branch off. Don't feel that you've got to stay with what you know. Think about what you want to do. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you know what? It doesn't bother me. Yeah, I might press snooze once, but I don't mind getting up because I love what I do. So
yeah.
find your passion as well, whether it is personal training or something else. Find your passion in life. Don't feel you've got to stay with the same job forever. You know,
Mm,
you can change things just like fitness as well.
yeah. No, no, totally. I mean, I feel like there's been so many takeaways from this
Yeah.
from this chat. I'm like, there's so it'll be a good one to go out on a Monday, set everyone up for their week ahead with some motivation to go out there and get their fizz done and change their job if they don't like it.
Yeah,
And
they're all changing their jobs. They found new fitness. CrossFit or
exactly.
Hyrox, you know, just find something. You know what? As long as, you know, even some clients, like I've had some Hyrox clients that have gone on to CrossFit, and it's like, you know
Yeah,
what? That's
it's a good
fantastic.
stepping stone for sure.
Yeah, it's great. But I do walk through the Hyrox class, the CrossFit class, and I go, Hyrox, and I remind them. And then because we've got on our ceiling at JJK, we've got all our towels are you know that we've got if we've got podium, they're all on the ceiling, and I always point up to them, and go, look how many we've got. But I love CrossFit. I love a barbell, so yeah, I love both. You know,
Good
fitness
banter.
fitness is yeah, we have a little bit of banter at our gym, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, let's move on to the cheeky insights. Because I'm keen to see what your answers are to some of these, and I'm sure everybody else will be keen to find out. What shoes do you wear firstly to race high rocks? What
What
does that
shoe?
what shoes? So what trainers do you use
Oh,
to race
I
high rocks?
I wear the Adidas a zero. I never can say it correctly.
Oh, here we are. We've got them.
Pro 3. These,
Okay, Adidas Zero Pro 3.
yeah, do you know what? It's taken me a few years to find my trainers. I absolutely love
Mm,
them. And I pretty much until now, oh yeah, I've worn them all year. Pretty much kept them for race day or track only or tread. So they never
okay.
went outdoors. I just love them. Obviously, half a size bigger because when I was first racing, I was just getting my size, and then by the
Mm.
end of it, my toes. I was known the first few races I did. It's a rule now, but I took my trainers off at wall balls,
Oh,
because
really?
yeah, I was known to take my trainers off at wall balls, and then one year I went, I'm not going to take them off, and they went, yeah, because you can't, because it's a rule. So it's a rule now. But yeah, they are. I absolutely love them. And yeah, I found my trainer, and I think it's very bespoke to everyone what trainer
100%.
they use. I know the Puma ones, they're really good, and I have got quite a few Pumas as well. So I like them as much, but they're my race day.
Yeah, and
They
it's
are
good to cycle them, isn't it, through training and not wear your race shoes all the time. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
I think
have
I
different
would
shoes for
say
different
that, and
things.
to save your trainers if you're really comfortable, and to save them is definitely key. Keep them off, keep your
Mm.
road trainers separately. Is, you know, I know it's having a couple of pairs of trainers, but it's an investment.
Yeah, also
So,
becomes an addiction.
yeah, it does a little bit.
Doesn't it? Okay. So number two, what venue is your favorite Hyrox venue? And maybe we split this up, and number one is an athlete and then number two is a judge.
My favourite one is Manchester. I think it's because that's where I did my first one.
Okay.
Um, and I just think it's a beautiful building.
Yeah.
And I love Manchester. Yeah, that is my favourite one. And I think my favourite one now to race in was Nice. Um,
Okay, cool.
I really, really loved it. And I love Glasgow too. When I first went to Glasgow, when we did the first one, I just thought, I don't like this. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to say anything. We did everyone the next day, I thought, I'm going to ask everyone's opinion.
Mm.
Everyone absolutely loved Glasgow. And I did too, actually. That's probably Manchester, then Glasgow.
So Manchester, Glasgow to race it or to judge?
Manchester, Glasgow you want to know to judge which one I love to
Yeah.
judge in?
So you like Manchester, Glasgow, and Nice to race?
Yeah, I like all three to
So
race in.
three venues to race.
It's really
What about
funny.
judging?
Judging, I love Olympia. Yeah,
Olympia, okay.
Olympia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I mean, it
really,
was
really.
huge this year, wasn't it?
It's so much bigger. But some people didn't like the venue because obviously you got some of the big posts in the way on a corner, and
Yeah.
um, I really like that. I like it that everyone can look down and watch the race
Mm.
from a different angle.
Yeah, it's really
I don't
cool.
know. Sometimes it's a lot when people are shouting at you. I don't know whether you've ever had it, but on board burpee jumps, when you get people that you know shouting at you and you're trying your best, and they
Oh,
go,
and you're
"Come
just in
on,"
the pain cave and you're
and it's
like,
it's hard. It's hard. So
yeah.
sometimes having a little bit of distance is sometimes is good.
Yeah.
Even though I love people being there, but obviously sometimes, I've seen people judging, and when I've been judging, I've seen people really roaring at people, and I can see they're really struggling. I'm like, just calm down a little bit.
Give them a second.
They're
Yeah.
trying because they are trying, So
Mm.
yeah, I like Olympia.
Cool. Oh, that's good. Good answers.
Yes.
Okay, what about Hyrox station? So let's do the same with this. Which is your favorite Hyrox station as an athlete? And then which is your favorite Hyrox station to judge?
God, this is really, really hard because you wouldn't believe this, but I actually like all of them. There's
I
not
do
one.
believe it. I actually do believe it.
I do like all of them. I love I love Warbles. I'm
That's your
always in
favorite.
Warbles. I'd probably say Warbles, even though when I'm there, like it's the hardest station. But
Yeah.
I do love a Warble. I love I love sled push and pull as well. This is really tricky. I've got to have one. Um,
You can have three. I mean, we have three venues, so we'll have three
okay,
stations,
why not?
three
We should change
venues. We'll
things.
just change it to. I'll change
Not
my.
push and Warbles.
Whenever I put one, I'll just change it to three.
I have been known to really love. I love rowing, so rowing can go in there as well. But yeah, let's pick Warbles. I'll say I love Warbles. I really, really do.
Okay.
I love coaching Warbles. I love people getting it right. It really infuriates me in class. I will stop because of the Hyrox standards.
Yeah.
I implement them into all classes, and even if I'm in another class and I see someone and they're squatting, I go no rep.
Get your depth.
Yeah. So yeah, I love Warbles. What was the second one?
What do you love to judge? If you could choose, if someone said, all right, Michelle, you've got to go on any station
I get
today
really
to go and
excited
judge.
about I get excited about Warbles. I do,
Warbles again.
I
I
do,
feel like
I do.
Warbles is the overarching answer
And
here.
every coach, I think everyone does. Everyone, to be honest with you, I've been on all the station, I've judged on all of them, and I love all of them, and I don't mind. I'm always a judge that, you get some judges that I like will want to be on a certain station. I will be wherever Hyrox want me to be.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy being on warbles, because I know that I really want to get them through
Get them
over that
through.
line,
Yeah.
and be able to, yeah, absolutely. I've taught somebody on warbles. I've been on warbles judging, and it's the first time somebody's thrown a warble, and
So you've
I've
had,
shown them what to do, and I've stopped them, and I've gone, come on, arm's length distance, get into that squat, keep your eyes on the prize. I have, and do you know what? I just, yeah.
love
So
that bit.
yeah, and once before, before, because Simon leads the UK and I on the warbles, and I sort of chatted to them all before, and I said, guys, be that person there, be that, judge, that
Support. Yeah.
support. I want you to support them. They are, they are near the end. You are with them, and you see, the people after coming up going, can you tell that warble judge, they were amazing, they really helped me. Be that one to help them through the end is amazing, that last little bit. So yeah.
And what's your thoughts on I've got to ask because we're on warbles, the new warball counters, like having to be so consistent, and with everything that happened at the World Champs with like Sandy's screen going blank and starting
Yeah.
again, and some of the girls, and then bringing people back. And I mean, we did Olympia, and I've got to admit I struggled. I was like, I'm hitting the target, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. And then the head judge at the time on the warbles was like, oh, you're just throwing it slightly too high, it's got to be like exactly on that little X.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's got to be, it's got to hit that target, because it can't hit the lower bit, and it can't hit, like for the ladies, it can't hit the middle bit, because
Yeah.
it's a rep. So, I mean, I've not experienced being on judging it, because you've still got to have a judge there, because obviously, as we've seen, it's gone
Yeah.
down, or it hasn't done it properly. So the judge has still got to be there counting for the moment, because
Yeah.
technology will happen,
Yeah,
uh,
totally. Yeah.
I just think as long as the judge is there, and they get it right, I would like to be able to do my walls. I think it would keep me going, because
To see it tallying up.
I think, because the amount of times we stop to go, how many? Like we do, don't we?
Yeah,
We want to
true.
know. So I think if I could see that number, I think personally that would keep me going. They just need to make sure that it's working correctly, so that
Yeah.
that doesn't happen, because it really can put you off.
And it's that mental thing, isn't it? When you're struggling at the end, like you said, sometimes just one little thing can like either empower you, like seeing it tick up, tick up, tick up, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is just getting, I'm increasing my warbles. Or if you get a no rep and you're seeing them go down,
Yes.
sometimes that can just play with the mental
Well, yeah,
mindset.
I mean as well, when I get a no rep, I don't know why, immediately I stop, and I've got to stop doing that, because I think I do squat, but if you have a judge, people have been judged for over squatting. I remember one judge, and she's a head
Yeah.
judge as well now, and in Manchester, she got told that she squatted too low. I mean, there isn't a rule. I mean,
Yeah.
there
It's
isn't a rule like
yeah,
that.
you've still got that subjectivity, haven't you? When there's an individual, it's always gonna be, it's like any kind of sport where you've got judging, there's always
Yeah,
that level of subjectivity. But yeah,
absolutely.
I feel like Hyrox are doing a really good job at trying to make it as consistent, and bringing the sport on as well.
Yeah, I
Everything's
mean, as long,
changing year after year, they're trying to improve it.
but it's just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
It's growing,
at
um, you know,
crazy rate.
at a crazy rate. And the athletes that are coming through, just, even in the last year, is phenomenal. And
Yeah.
they're coming straight in, and they're fast.
Yeah,
Um,
no, totally. I think it's
um,
going to be exciting to see some people, people are coming from different sports and stuff as well. And you're just like, wow.
Footballers are even now getting into
Mm,
it, because again, they're getting retired in their sport, and it's something else they can do. And
yeah,
um,
totally.
yeah, I mean, it's brilliant, and I'm sure there'll be other sports that will happen because of this.
Yeah, agreed.
I think that there will be something else. There has to be.
Mm,
Um, a lot of people are getting back into Deca
mm,
now. So and also people are getting injured, so they're having to find something else.
mm.
Unfortunately. So, I know people that can't run, and they're like, I really want to do Hyrox, but I can't run because I have got an injury. You
Yeah.
know, I mean,
And
if
then
you
there
said,
needs to be an alternative.
yeah, if you said to me, Michelle, you had to row all the 5Ks, I would love that sport. Like I would, and just do one run.
Yeah, yeah. A run is a station.
It
Yeah.
would change it. I mean, one day I'm going to actually do it backwards. I'm going to do the Hyrox sim backwards and just see how that feels. That
Yeah,
might be
fair.
quite That might be quite interesting. But yeah,
Another way to train, isn't it?
yeah. Well, it's another way to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, totally. So
So
I know you've got your doubles partner, but if you could do a doubles Hyrox with anyone in the world, dead or alive, famous, not famous, like who would it be if you could pick someone to do a doubles Hyrox with for a laugh or because you think you're going to do well?
um,
I'll put you on the spot here. And you can choose
you've really
you can only choose one person this time, not three, because it's only a doubles.
yeah. It's only a doubles.
We're not
Okay,
doing a
so
relay, we're just doing a doubles.
oh God, you know me so well. Right, so if it was mixed doubles.
Okay. Oh, you found a way to give me a couple of answers.
Yeah, so yeah. If it was mixed doubles, I'll have Daniel Craig.
Oh,
Okay,
nice. Okay,
so
yeah.
mixed doubles, I'll have Daniel Craig. And if it's a women's doubles, I'll have Madonna.
Madonna, oh, fair.
Yeah, I'll have Madonna. Yeah.
Yes. She into a fizz? I don't even know, but I mean, you've got to be pretty fit to do those concerts, haven't you?
I mean,
She
she
must be
must be
pretty
fit. I
fit.
don't know whether she does running. She's in her 60s now.
Yeah, fair.
So yeah, I think, come on, Madonna. Let's
Yeah,
go.
can we give
Let's
it a
get
go?
into the
If
room.
she's listening.
If you're listening, let's vogue together.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
You
yeah,
never know. You just never know. Okay, and then number 5, what do you fuel for Hyrox? And if you do fuel during the race, what do you take and when do you take it? Do you take any gels or shot blocks or anything like that? Or
yeah, I normally bring, I think I might have one in my bag. One of my friends recently gave me, and it's a Hilltop.
oh, the Hilltop, yeah, gels. I've never
Hilltop.
tried one of those, but these seem
Yeah,
to be getting
so
quite
that's
popular.
what normally I'll have a Cliff Block, and normally my
Okay.
partner that I do doubles at row, she has them and she just pops it in my mouth. And she normally has because she's always got like a little pocket. But recently I've started having these, and yeah, I really, really
You really like
really
them.
like them. Yeah.
Do you take them at
Um
the row as well? Like if you have that, do you take it
Only at the
only
row,
only at
because
the row?
like
Yeah,
hard
that's so
burpee
nice.
jumps, I've done it before, but and I felt a bit queasy. So always at the row. If I need something, that's where I will take it.
Perfect.
Mm.
And number 6, what is your favorite training session for Hyrox? If you could do it can be a type of training session. So like zone 2 run, it could be like a Metcon, it could be a sim. It's like, could be a strength session. What's your favorite
Yeah,
workout?
I normally like the strength sessions.
Strength.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of I love it when it's all strength, but then I like a little finisher
Okay, yeah.
will be like a little blast, a little
To
metcon or
just
something.
get your
It
blood
might be like,
pumping.
yeah, it might be like the other day, it was like 5 hand cleans into 15-calorie row into 10 burpee box jumps,
Okay, yeah, that's quite
5
cool.
rounds. They're the sort of things that you'll see me, I'll do like 5 rounds for time or something. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I love my zone 2. The runs I always enjoy after.
Yeah, yeah. Once you finish, but like that kind of like gritty finisher is quite good after you've done some strength, some steady strength
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
love
I
that.
like a little bit of a heart raiser, and I like to get a little bit of a sweat on. So yeah, something like that would be good. But I love a good strength session. I feel quite empowered, and it
Yeah,
makes
fair.
endorphins are up and everything. And yeah, strength is more my thing, but and just keeping up that zone 2 as well, and enjoying
Yeah.
that sun. Like I'll get a bike out of the gym and bring it out into the sunshine and sit
Chill out
outside
in the sun.
and just chill and listen to podcasts like yourself,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
and yeah, just learn, constantly learning.
Yeah,
um
no, that's the way to do it, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'll always put myself out there to learn off other coaches, and what we can do better, what we can, and ask questions,
Yeah.
always asking questions to improve. And and as a coach, it's great to always be learning, because it's stuff that we can transition onto our clients.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, love that. Love that. Okay, so why should I think we've covered it, but we're gonna say it because it's in the cheeky insights. Why should someone sign up for their first Hyrox? If someone's sitting on the fence and they're one of those people that go, "Oh, I will do one, I'm just not ready just yet." Why should they do it?
We always think we're never ready. we always think, even if we're doing Hyrox, how many people have said, I'm not ready? I'll even say it, I'm not ready. We're never ready. When will we ever be ready? If we always have that, we will never do anything. So
Love it.
you just got to do it.
Just got to start.
You've got to start. And once you start and you've got those stats, then the work can start. Just get those
Perfect.
stats, because they're amazing stats, aren't they? And they're
Yeah,
all,
just get that first race done and just enjoy
get
it
that
and just
race done, and then you go, well, I could have done this, and there'll be another race, and then it'll be, I can do this and that, and then there'll be another race.
And then
And
it snowballs from there, doesn't it?
we're all like it. Even me, I'm like, well, I can slow down my runs now because I can blast out the workout. Like,
Yeah.
work to your strengths as well, and think
Mm.
about your running pace. Think about having that running pace and keeping to it for those 8Ks. Yes, you probably could go faster on the first few Ks, but if you want to get through the full volume, you've got to stick to that pace. So be smart.
Yeah, I love that.
Just book it. Just book it. Listen, you've only got one life. Live it. Just do it.
Yeah, do it while you can. You only live once.
Absolutely. And just get out there and book it and do it. And if you don't like it, don't do another one. And if you do, yes, you're in.
Exactly. And the final one then, who, if you could listen to someone on a podcast, if it was a type of person or if it was a specific person, who would you like to see us talk to on our podcast?
Well, you've had everyone that I know, I think. I think you should get Jade Skillen on here.
Jade, oh yeah, we are trying to get Jade, actually. We keep
I think
our diaries are not aligning, but I think Jade will be awesome because she's got her own podcast now as well.
She has
so much
as well.
information. Yeah, definitely a good one to check out.
Absolutely. Jade. Who else is out there? Obviously you've got Denise Warrior Woman. She's going very much more. Okay. I know not Hyrox, but she would be absolutely brilliant because she's done very, very well through Hyrox. But obviously is dipping out into a little bit of Deca and Spartan. So that's interesting as well. I think we all need to have a range of things, to keep us all interested.
Yeah, for sure. That is exactly what we need to do. And it keeps that consistency, it keeps that habit, and it keeps us enjoying it and coming back and improving, doesn't it? So
yeah, absolutely. And have time off and enjoy time off and get back on training.
Yeah, and that's important too, especially in a downtime. There's only so much you can do. Don't burn out. So Michelle, if people want to find you, want to follow your story, want to ask you questions, maybe want to come to the gym, maybe want to do a sim, where can they find you?
Well, they can find me on Instagram. It's coach_Michelle PT_.
Perfect.
So just find me on there and DM me, ask me questions. I don't mind if you want to have a chat. I really enjoy having those first conversations and starting off people's journey. That's that excites me. We get excited about the heavy lifters and everything, but I love everyone at the beginning as well.
That's so cool.
It's so exciting.
And your gym, where's your gym based? Where's JJK?
So I am JJK Fitness. We're based in Kings Langley, Hertfordshire. So we're near Watford. So we're a CrossFit gym and a Hyrox affiliation. And like I said, we do the Hyrox sim once a month. So you can see us on Instagram at JJK Fitness as well. So if you ever want to come down and do the Hyrox sim, you can. And then you'll meet other athletes there as well. Got a coffee shop, and then we got a nice place down the road. We can get brunch.
There we go. Workout and brunch.
So it's a win-win. So, and again, it's really good because the last few guys that came, it was their first time doing a sim, and I was able to then direct them and say about the judging standards. And again, so hopefully they would go straight into a Hyrox race and would be able to go through it smoothly without a head judge saying to them, sorry, go back, no, you've got a penalty. And even explaining a simple thing like, what would you do if you missed a workout? So say, for instance, you missed a station, what would you do? I'm able to say to them what they would do. They'd still get a penalty, but they'd go back and do the station they forgot and then carry on with the station they were to do next. It's just simple things like that, because say, for instance, that happened on race day, like they're like,
people freeze.
You might not be able to get the answer, because somebody might not know, you know, obviously we all know stuff, but they might not be able to get that answer there and then in the middle of a race. So yeah, I'm able to just whatever information that I've got that I've learned through head judging, be able to pass over.
Oh, no, it's brilliant. And I mean, this conversation has been incredible. You're so passionate about what you do. You lead by example. You've changed your life, and yeah, you've met new friends and got a new
Yeah,
career.
I know.
I know you've got all this information about Hyrox that's just like, yeah, you can just tap into. It's unlimited. So I like really appreciate your time today to come on and
Thank
chat. I
you.
hope we've had so many people that have asked us to get you on the podcast,
Oh,
and I can
that's
see
really
why.
lovely.
So hopefully they'll be buzzing that we finally managed to record one, and we'll get this out.
That's brilliant.
And I just appreciate your time, Michelle. Thank you so much. I know Em will be gutted she's missed it, but hopefully she'll be back next week.
Oh, brilliant. Well, just thank you so much for asking me. It's been a pleasure. So I
No,
really appreciate your time.
pleasure is all ours. And thank you to everyone for listening. If you've got a chance, please like jump over and check out Michelle's page, follow her journey, hit her up if you need any tips. And yeah, we'll see you on the next episode.